Evans tries an O-level Part-10. Oh, now Evans was getting very happy, very elated. He was that all his plan went very, very smoothly, whatever he thought. They had got all that little problem worked out all right though, and a pen stuck in the mouth whenever the evil eye had appeared at the pee hole. And then he was thinking that how he kept that. Pen in his mouth every time when the evil eye, the Stephens, had appeared at the pee hole looking at them. But all the fiddling about under the blanket and the black front and the stud at the back of the collar, that had been far more difficult than they had ever bargained for. And all that fiddling, making small, small changes under the blanket, which they were doing with the black front and the stud at the back of the collar, had been very difficult. Everything else had gone beautifully smoothly, and in the car he had found everything they had promised him: the soap and the water, the clothes, the map, yes, the map, of course, the ordnance survey map of Oxfordshire. He had got some good friends, some very clever friends, Christa. And then he was very happy at his friends. He was grateful that he has dedicated friends who had arranged all these things for him. He unlocked his bedroom door and closed it quietly behind him, and then stood frozen to the spot like a man who has just caught a glimpse of the Gorgon. And once he entered his bedroom, and he stood like frozen, because the man he saw there was the last man he wanted to see at that time, and he acted like a man who has caught a glimpse of a gorgon, that is an ugly woman. जैसे कोई एक gorgon को देखकर वो आदमी frozen रह गया था, he acted like that. Sitting on the narrow bed was the very last man in the world that Evans had expected or wanted to see. It's not worth trying anything, said the governor. Now, governor said, now it's useless trying anything. Quietly as Evans' eyes darted desperately around the room. As he saw Evans' eyes move suddenly, desperately means hopelessly, around the room. I have got men all round the place. Well, there were only two really, but Evans needn't know that. Though there were two men, but governor said so many people. He let the words sink in. Women do too. Didn't you think the blonde girl in reception was rather sweet? Now he brought him to that women. He said we have got women also. And he said that the blonde girl at the reception whom he saw was a changed girl. No? So he said that blonde girl, the girl with the light hair colors, was sweet. So that was also their woman. Evans was visibly shaken. He was totally caught unaware. He sat down slowly in the only chair the small room could offer and held his head between his hands. For several minutes there was utter silence. Finally he spoke. It was that bloody correction slip, I suppose. And then Evans said that it was that correction slip which had created all that problem. Well, the governor failed to mask the deep satisfaction in his voice, and now the governor failed to hide the deep satisfaction which he had in his voice. He said, there are a few people who know a little German. So governor said, yes, that was the correction slip, and he read it. Slowly, very slowly, Evans relaxed. He was beaten and he knew it. Evans was relaxed and he knew he had lost it. He sat up at last and managed to smile ruefully. And then he managed to smile, feeling very, very sad, ruefully. You know, it wasn't really a mistake. You see, we hadn't been able to fix up any hotel, and we could have worked that some other way. And then he says that yes, it was not a mistake, of course, and they had not been able to fix up any hotel. They would have, if they would have taken any other hotel, then they would not have been caught up. क्योंकि स्लिप पे गोल्डन लाइन था और उनको कोई और होटल नहीं मिल पाया, इसलिए वो फंस गए. No, the really important thing was for the phone to ring just before the exam finished, to get everyone out of the way for a couple of minutes. So we had to know exactly when the exam started, didn't we? And then he said the phone call which came, and that gave the idea that when did the exam start. क्योंकि वहाँ से जो फ़ोन आया उससे उन्हें पता चल गया कि एग्ज़ाम कितने बजे शुरू हुआ, and they managed to plan the other things further. And like a fool, I presented you with that little piece of information on a plate. And then governor said that like a fool, he presented him the correction slip where all the information was there. Well, somebody did. So you see, sir, that correction slip killed two birds with a single stone, did it didn't. Then Evans said, yes, that correction slip, of course, helped them. And it acted like as if they have killed two birds with a single stone. एक से दो काम उनके हो गए। एक तो करेक्शन स्लिप से द नेम ऑफ द होटल फॉर मी, एक तो उन्हें नेम होटल का पता चल गया, एंड द एग्जैक्ट टाइम द एग्जाम स्टार्टेड फॉर एंड देन द सेकेंड थिंग द हिज फ्रेंड्स केम टू नो अबाउट द time when the exam start, and so they planned further. The governor nodded. It's a pretty common word. Good job, it is a pretty common, sir. Or I had never have known where to come, would I? वो कहता yes sir, very pretty common, but मुझे कैसे पता चलता मुझे जाना कहाँ पर है? Nice name though, Zum, Golden and Lowen. गवर्नर कहता है बड़ा अच्छा नाम है. How did he know which golden lion it was? There's hundreds of them. Now Evans said that how did he come to know which golden lion? Because there were so many hotels with that name. Same as you, Evans. Index number 313, center number 271. Remember, 6 figures. And if you take an ordnance survey map for Oxfordshire, you find that the 6-figure reference 313 upon 271 lands you bang in the middle of Chipping Norton. And then governor explains him that there were 6 figures, and a 6 figures reference brings you in the middle of the Chipping Norton. So he also made a clue, and he was right. Yeah, you're right. वी हैड होप्ड यू वुड रन ऑफ टू न्यूबेरी. और इवेंट्स कहता है कि हमने सोचा था तुम न्यूबेरी जाओगे. वी डिड. वेल दैट्स समथिंग आई सपोज. तो इवेंट्स कहता है येस दैट वॉज समथिंग ही वॉन्ट सपोज कि यू विल गो टू न्यूबेरी, यू विल नॉट कम हियर. दैट क्वेश्चन पेपर, इवेंट्स कुड यू रियली अंडरस्टैंड ऑल दैट जर्मन? आई कुड हार्डली. देन गवर्नर आस्क्ड हिम, अच्छा इन दैट क्वेश्चन पेपर डिड यू अंडरस्टैंड ऑल द जर्मन? Nay, of course I couldn't. I knew roughly what it was all about, but we just opened it through a few spanners in the works. Sort of muddle everybody a bit. तो इवेंट्स कहता है नो ऑफ कोर्स ही couldn't. I knew roughly what it was all. कहता roughly मुझे पता था वो क्या है about, but we just hoped it would throw a few spanners. But he said that it will throw a few spanners means it will be a source of hindrance, impediment. वो एक मुश्किल तो खड़ी करेगा इनके लिए. Sort of muddle, वो उसने confusion create किया आपके लिए. And the governor stood up. Now he said, tell me one thing before we go. How on earth did you get all the blood to pour over your head? And then finally he asked, how did he manage to get the blood which he poured over his head? So this is all about in this video. Thank you.